Welcome to 2021! Woo! Fireworks! Yay! Hello, internet individuals. I was just gonna keep wearing the bra for this video, but now I'm not because it was literally so tight. It made me want to throw up. Sorry, I'm still very nauseous. It's not all the bra's fault, by the way. It's just not like I just squeezed myself into something so tight I got nauseous. I'm sick. I start the new year sick every time. I'm like, this is the year. I'm gonna not be a schlub. I'm gonna start the new year with physical activity. I'm gonna diet appropriately. Not even diet. I'm gonna change my lifestyle so that I don't eat chocolate chip cookies, you know? I want to say also, I am totally okay with where I am in my relationship with chocolate chip cookies. I used to have the relationship where I could sit down and eat this entire canister in one sitting. That's 4, 8, 12 times 2, 24. That's 24 cookies, okay, in one sitting. Now I can only eat 4 in one sitting, which is 2 servings. So I'm almost down to eating only 1 serving in a sitting. But yeah, with a nice ice cold glass of milk at the end of the day, I have 4 chocolate chip cookies. Okay, I'm actually very proud of my relationship with that. But that's also why I'm trying to get onto like the next step. So I've once again grown comfortable and grown like complacent in where I am, and that is reverting me right back to old very bad habits, like just picking up some quick fast food because cooking would make a whole bunch of dirty dishes that we don't want to wash, and etc, etc. So attempting not to do that, but you know, started the year being schlubs anyway. I got really sick, so guess who didn't feel like doing dishes or cooking, you know? And Mark is still working this whole time. That's why you don't see him in any of these videos. He was in a whole bunch of videos to start there because he got laid off over and over and over again. Like, he's very much so found his work family. That's a great thing for him because he is the type of person who really needs that in a career. However, that means feeding into our moving update, we are not moving anymore. Only I am. And that's also totally okay. It actually turns out that not necessarily that it's too much work, just that it's so much work and about 6 times the cost for our whole family to move. Additionally, we would either have to rent out and or sell our house, and in its current condition, it's not going to go for what we need it / want it to go for. Also, this isn't exactly a time where everybody's got a bunch of money to just be throwing out a house or renting out a house. So it doesn't seem right. Additionally, Mark is the type of person who needs a job. He has to have one or he will get very depressed. He cannot stay at home all the time. This was made extraordinarily vivid in our relationship between many layoffs that he's had to face because he was in the physical labor industry for so long, or even between quarantine happening in our state. We ended up having to shut down, and his job ended up having to close because they were non-essential, and he had to be home for like an entire month and a half. Just, he felt purposeless, he felt lost, he didn't know what to do with himself. And then also I felt guilty because I was like, well, you know, we are living in a construction zone. No covers on outlets, no trims on doors. There's a lot of stuff that still needs to be sanded. House update though, we have officially finished drywall plastering everything, and with the stimulus check that we just got, the $600, this bitch bought a electric drywall sander that has this vacuum on it that sucks in all the dust so that it won't get into all of our freaking ducts that need to be cleaned anyway, so it's still gonna happen, but it's fine because that's excellent. I'm so pumped because originally we were looking at literally having to take all of our appliances and everything out of the house in order to sand the entire house appropriately. Moving on. The animals are another large cost. Japan is very strict about how they let animals in, the rabies testing, the cost of it. Additionally, I'm not comfortable flying with my animals as like cargo. I've heard way too many horror stories about animals freezing to death, animals dehydrating. That is a 14-hour flight, and if And if we're flying with the animals, we can't actually do any flights with layovers, which means it would automatically double and or triple the cost of our ticket depending on when I need to fly out, which is super expensive. It's like $1,200 just for a ticket from Chicago to Japan nonstop. That's economy class basic, nothing added. You can't pick your seat, you're just stuck. And that's like the cheapest airline. I think that's like ANA or Air Japan or something like that. Depends. I search Google so that I search all of the airlines at once. Anyway, that's rambling. So literally $1,200 times there's 5 of us. That's, insert that amount here because I can't do it off the top of my head. I'm not that good at math. Somebody could probably do 12 times 5. I can do 10 times 5. I can do 11 times 5. That's 55. Okay, so 12 times 5 is 60. There you go. That's $6,000 just in airplane tickets. Hey, I did it. Go me. I'm better at math than I thought I was. You can do it if you try. Woo! Anyway, moving on. That's $6,000 in airline tickets, and that's a lot of money just to come up with. Additionally, on top of that $6,000 just in airline tickets, you'd need first month's rent, you'd need key money, we would need money for a guarantor for our company because any company that's hiring from overseas does not support family living, so we would be responsible for finding our own apartment. Additionally, you need a certain amount of money in your bank account to show the Japanese government to prove that you have the amount of money to live in their country without needing support. So just I will be moving, and maybe because of the situation that's going on with the entire world right now, a lot of the places that were mass hiring, especially starting their hiring processes while people were still in their final year of, school, are now no longer doing that. Every job that I had lined up to apply for, I've received an email because I'm on their email waiting list because I've inquired because I'm like, hey, I might want to work for your company when I graduate. I've received emails from these companies saying things like, hey, we've currently suspended hiring for the moment depending on how, the state of the world is. We've currently suspended hiring depending on whether or not the vaccine becomes available in our country and or your country of hiring, etc. Or just things like, we're sorry to inform you that you won't be able to apply until you physically have the piece of paper that is your graduate degree now. Just because of COVID and all the extra restraints that are going on, it's added a lot of extra work to the hiring process, so they just don't want to have to sort through the applications of people who haven't graduated yet, just in case those people might not graduate and follow through. Then they've wasted all this time in recruiting, filing all of the appropriate paperwork to have these people come work for them that just end up not showing up. And I can understand that also, which is why I'm really not salty about it. However, because I do have to start applying for them now, she absolutely hates being on camera, but every time I start filming, I need to stop talking to the camera and pay attention to her instead. Anyway. However, all of the graduate programs that I was also going to apply to are still on the regular timeline. So it's looking like I might find out whether or not I'm accepted into a graduate program before I'm even allowed to apply for a job in Japan. Or now I have expanded my horizons to either Japan or South Korea for the time being, just because those are the two countries I have friends in. I'm most familiar with Japan. Japanese is my second language. I don't really know anything about Korea except for the food and how to say thank you and how to ask for more banchan, which is the side dishes that are super delicious. Adorable. Yes. So I'm coming to you with that moving update because Mark is at work. Wow, words. I don't feel well. Okay, I gotta put you down now. My arms really hurt. Oh, she's only 7 pounds, but oh. Those of you wondering, that was my shoulder and my elbow popping back into place because they had slipped from holding her body. No, I don't have any sort of disorder or disease that I know of. I'm just super weak. I'm just fat and lazy. That's the only disease I have. Anyway, I kind of started the year like a schlub again. I made all of these. What? Come on. No, I don't wanna. No, I don't wanna. I started the year kind of like a schlub again. I made all of these goals and I was like, yes, we're gonna do it. My New Year's resolutions. Be physical. Not feel like crap all of the time. But literally the day after New Year's, I got sick AF. We didn't go anywhere or do anything. So no, I don't have COVID. I just think either I ate too much or I ate something wrong because I got like a mini stomach flu. It was just firing out both ends. It was terrible. And I'm still recovering from it. Like it's last time. I was nauseous again yesterday, firing out both ends again. You know, so much so that I had to have soup and bread for dinner. You know, it was no bueno. It was no bueno. Still nauseous today, but not throwing up. I'm able to keep down liquids, my trusty Gatorade. I'm getting distracted because I feel like butts. Good butts. But I feel like schleppy, dirty butts, which is actually when my hair's still wet. I don't remember what I was talking about. I feel like I was talking about being a schlub and still not like starting any of the goals that I put out for myself. Because I feel like butts and most of my goals are physical, and what are you supposed to do? Well, like, I literally just pulled a package in off my front porch through my front door and then walked back into the kitchen. I have a 500 square foot house, 570 square feet. That is my house size. So it took me, what, 10 steps to walk from the front door back to the camera, and I wanted to throw up? How are you supposed to like force yourself? How are you supposed to force yourself to do like real physical activity during, like, if I were to try to do a Chloe Ting challenge right now, I would get down into a push-up position and just throw up. Just be like, alright, good. Glad I exercised today. That was worth it. And I constantly try to push myself through shit like this, and I just make myself sicker, and then I'm back in this whole vicious cycle of feeling like butts and not achieving anything that I put myself out to achieve, that I really, really want to achieve. And I'm really tired of it. So I'm just gonna accept that I started this year like a schlub, that I still feel like a schlub. I'm gonna do something that I wanted to do to hold myself accountable for myself. That'll make me feel like I kind of gave myself a win, while I'm physically incapable of doing the goals that I wanted to do. So instead of having a January 1st New Year's resolution, I'm gonna have a January whenever the hell I don't feel like throwing up the second I stand up, sit down, wake up, turn around. And I feel regular, like a normal person again, and like I can do things. But I'm gonna make sure that I don't use feeling like a schleb as an excuse to not do anything at all and just fall back into my same comforts. I'm gonna go sit down and edit this now. Like, subscribe. If you actually do want to see content from this channel, you should subscribe, because I don't have a schedule. I have no idea when I'll be posting new videos, because I'm the fucking worst. Also, because I'm in my final year of my bachelor's degree and applying for master's programs and jobs overseas, so I'm also like insanely busy in my real, like, off internet life. So definitely subscribe if you want to know if I end up moving to Japan or Korea, or if I end up just going into a graduate program. I can maybe do a video about applying to graduate programs. I've done a video about how I went from being a high school dropout to getting almost a 4.0 in college. Oh my god, I'm actually so pissed off. All right, this last semester I got a 3.9. That was 0.1. 0.1 away. Ah! Don't get me wrong, I'm super grateful for my 3.9, and like I worked my ass off for it. But I got an A- in a class instead by like 1% too. I got like a 94 instead of a 95, and it's just like when you work so hard for something and you come so close, but it's just like